The biggest surprise over in China was that Wolves, the team who finished top 3 at Masters Toronto, failed to make playoffs and saw their hopes of qualifying for champions evaporate. But that opened the door for XLG and EDG to qualify for the tournament off of circuit points. So despite a pretty middling year, EDG still has a chance to defend their title. They definitely aren't coming into this event as favorites, but to be fair, I don't think anyone would have called them that last year either. The other 2 representatives from China are Dragon Ranger Gaming and Stage 2 champions Bilibili Gaming. Despite going out in the Swiss stage in Toronto, BLG have looked better and better as the year has gone on, and they definitely look to be the team to keep an eye on in Paris. But another thing to note that because of Riot's current rules for Ascension teams, DRG and XLG will both be battling to retain their VCT spot. Whichever team outperforms the other gets to stay up, while the other team has to fight to keep their spot at the Ascension tournament. So there's a lot of pressure on these rosters. We're just gonna have to wait and see who handles it the best. But next, let's move on to Pacific, where things kind of went as expected for the most part. T1 qualified on circuit points, thanks in large part to their win in Bangkok at the start of the year. But to be fair to them, they have shown improvement throughout the tail end of the season, and they honestly could be a dark horse in Paris. But we need to talk about Gen.G real quick, because those guys have sort of become serial chokers. They were up 10-2 on map 2 and on the verge of eliminating RRQ from playoffs, but they only managed to win 1 round in the second half, losing the map and eventually the series. This is a really worrying trend for Gen.G. The amount of times they've blown substantial leads this season shows that they might need some sort of mental coach. But nevertheless, what we really need to talk about is the lower final over in Pacific, because it was insane. Talon needed to win against RRQ in order to earn the final spot for their region at Champions, and at first it looked like they were going to do just that. They were up 2-0 in the series and 1 map away from qualifying for Paris. But then they absolutely collapsed.
Talon might have the sights around it, but the firepower not quite there. They try to initiate things with utility, but outside of the smokes, Jin Boys, he lights things up! This is coming out of nowhere! 1v1, and Sparrow dishes back the 4K!